13-1 here in Corvallis, and Portland trying to beat Oregon State for the first time ever in the Scott Rueck era. Rueck is 5-0 against Portland. Our officials, Alicia Murray, Brad Schmidt, and David Arden. Murray getting ready to throw the ball in the air, and we're off and rolling on this Saturday night here at Gill Coliseum. And this crowd, Alyssa, is ready to rock.
Electric. They're coming off a big win. Are the Beaver fans over Gonzaga men, a 16th ranked team. Now it's time for the women. Both teams going to put on a show tonight. Oregon State a chance to clinch within a half game of first place in the West Coast Conference if they can win.
Got Filleda. Back outside now to Schuler. Kick it back outside to Filleda. Put Burnham in the air. Rolls it up with the left hand. Doesn't go. Rebound pulled down by Mark. And here comes Mikkel Meek. Ahead to Shear, their leading scorer, 16 points per game. In fact, Burnham, their leading 16.3. Each averaging right about 16. Burnham and Shear. Here's a playmaker, Meek, the coach's daughter.
Burnham and Shear both had 21 the last time these teams played.
Well, Prince in action, backdoor pass, doesn't go, blocking foul called.
And an interesting start because Oregon State doesn't foul a whole lot. That's what this game is going to be predicated on. Portland likes to get to the free throw line a whole lot. 26th most free throw attempts in the nation. And Oregon State, they sure don't foul much.
Yeah, that's really an interesting juxtaposition there between a team that gets to the line a lot and a team that almost never fouls. Matter of fact, that's part of Oregon State's DNA. The last decade, they've committed fewer fouls than any team in the nation except UConn. Foul was on Kelsey Reese. Burnham makes them both. And an early 2-0 lead for Portland. Here's the full court pressure put on by the Pilots. Something you rarely see from Oregon State. Trying to break that press. Reese calling for the ball. Filleda all the way, lay it up, doesn't go. It's tipped and pulled down by Trista Hull. Here comes Meek and Portland. She'll get the ball to the free throw line, turns the corner, goes up against A.J. Marat, doesn't go. Rebound Kelsey Reese, swings the elbows to clear some room. And here comes Oregon State.
Oregon State wants to keep Portland out of the key as much as they can. Portland scores a majority of their buckets right around the rim. They love getting layups.
Back outside. Tiara Bolden for three. Back iron, no good. Rebound Hull, her second. Outlet to Shear. And here comes the purple. Shear all the way. They let her go. Last second defense by Filleda. And it wouldn't fall. Here comes A.J. Marat.
And nobody picked her up in transition.
Filleda, nice little pocket pass. And Reese draws the foul. That's against Trista Hull, her first. Kelsey Reese will go to the free throw line. 84%.
She scored 25 points, a career high against Portland on December 30th. 12 rebounds. She was crucial in that overtime period. She gets the O boards, she gets the D boards, and she'll make tough shots like that and one at the end of regulation to tie the game and send it to overtime.
Lainey Spear checks in. Trista Hull comes out after committing her first foul. And now Kelsey Reese to the free throw line. Oregon State with basically an entirely new team from last year, and it took them a while to come together. But once they did, starting with a UConn game back in November in the Bahamas, the second half there, they outscored mighty UConn in that second half. Scott Rueck said, hey, that's when we began to figure it out.
Yeah, he saw their potential, and they saw their potential. They were in kind of a zone defense where they moved as one and really dominated in terms of disrupting what UConn wanted to do. And with so many newcomers, they replaced 57 points of combined scoring from last season.
Incredible.
Takes a long time to figure that out.
Alexis Marks' three rattles home. She'd been 40% last year at LMU, just 29%. This year, it's a 5-2 Pilots lead. Filleda ahead all the way in deep to Reese. Part of that doesn't go. Gets her own rebound. Part of that doesn't go. Rebound pulled down by Lainey Spear.
And Alexis Mark, Oregon State let her shoot in the last game.
They let Meek shoot, and she knocks it down. An 8-2 Pilots lead. Meek a 40%er this year, 3.3 attempts per game. A timeout taken by Scott Rueck. Mikkel Meek, her three-point percentage has bounced around in her career. As a freshman, 43%, then 14%, 36%. Last year, just 28th ranked Gonzaga in overtime in front of a sold-out crowd of 9,300. And then last night, it was gymnastics with two-time Olympic gold medalist Jade Carey leading the way. Oregon State posted a nice 197.6. The fourth highest score in the nation this year. And tonight, women's basketball between two teams battling for the top of the West Coast Conference.
And what a tight race it is. Nothing like we've seen anywhere else in women's college basketball.
And taken away by Alexis Mark. And she's able to get it off to Shear before getting tied up by Fieda. Burnham back to Shear. Guarded by Schuler. And Bolden takes it away. They trade turnovers. Bolden will cross over, Euro step, goes up, doesn't get it. Schuler with a rebound, put it up, doesn't go. Kelsey Reese, third opportunity, doesn't go, and it's ripped down by Shear.
Just a tough shooting night so far for Oregon State, right by the bucket as they get another turnover. You just got to put these little bunnies away. Yeah, they really matter at the end of the game.
0 for 8 from the floor.
And only one three-pointer taken.
Twice they've beaten the press without anything to show for it. And now Bolden casts for three, and she got it. Tiara Bolden. Last home game 9 days ago, she hit 4 threes, a season high.
And a special player out of Eugene, went to LaSalle over in Philadelphia, and then wanted to come back closer to home to play for Scott Ruitt.
Yeah, coaching staff didn't really know who she was, and she contacted them out of the transfer portal, and they were very thrilled to get her last April. Raquel Meek dribbles it out. Three-pointer by Spear, and she got it. How about Lainey Spear? Just 19% on threes. That's only her 4th this year.
And a fantastic screen. She stepped right into it, no hesitation.
Portland's hit all 3 of their shots from beyond the arc. Now Schuler guarded by Mark. Part of that Portland zone. Inside of that little honey hole in the zone. Back outside to Marat. She cans her 3. A.J. Marat. She had 3 threes at Santa Clara on Thursday. Maisie Burnham drives it in, puts it up off the glass, and gets it.
Yeah, transition D didn't follow up such a great possession on offense. You get the ball inside the paint, do the Beavers, and kick it back out. And statistics always show field goal efficiency goes way up when you get the ball inside at least once in a possession.
They're very good at doing that. Back outside. Three-pointer by Kennedy Schuler. Doesn't go. Hit a couple against Gonzaga earlier this year. Back inside to Fieda. Oregon State really having difficulty with the layups.
Yeah, beautiful pass there by Schuler. Quick popcorn pass inside. Just not draining the buckets inside. And it could be because some of them are just so wide open. Maybe a little bit flustered.
Mark drives it against Fieda. Alexis Mark, Loyola Marymount transfer, honorable mention all conference last year. 4 to shoot. Spears 3, this time doesn't go. And Kelsey Reese has the rebound. That's her 4th.
Successful defensive possession there for the Beavs. They make you do what you don't want to do, and took you to the end of the shot clock.
Bolden saves it from going out of bounds, walks the tightrope, dribbles out of traffic. Fall away, rattles home. Tiara Bolden's got 5. Beavers within 3.
What balance, right? I mean, saves the ball inside from going out of bounds and then explodes. Stops on a dime for the jumper.
Inside to Spear, posting up on Reese. And now Burnham, spin move against Bolden. Off the back iron and good.
That's what makes her so good. Maisie Burnham was the starting 5 for Eastern Washington when she was a freshman. She was the Big Sky Freshman of the Year, and now it punishes guards because she can play guard and post them up.
Marat had it tipped away. Tiara Bolden with 5 points for Oregon State.
Yeah, just tippy-toe, keep it inside, and then make the defense pay. Right there, the pull-up J. Really impressive to see how complete Tiara Bolden's game is.
Natalie Fraley, Brian Mogul in for Portland. .15 to shoot as Schuler directs some traffic. Fieda, Reese posting up inside on Spear, backing her down. Turnaround shot blocked by, in fact, that's Natalie Fraley. They call Fraley for the foul.
And Portland got into foul trouble against Gonzaga at their most recent loss. It's because these post players like Kelsey Reese and Yvonne Ejim for Gonzaga are bigger and tall, and Portland is undersized. So you're going to get in foul trouble when you're trying to slow down these post players.
Portland lost their last game on Thursday against Gonzaga, 66-65. 9 seconds left. A putback by Yvonne Ejim, reigning WCC Player of the Year. Reese, little body English to get that free throw to go home. 84%er. That always helps.
It always does. Just willing it to go in.
Pittsburgh, along with former Idaho forward Alyssa Charleston. You're a pretty good free throw shooter, weren't you?
I was okay, a good shooter, but from the free throw line, didn't translate all the time.
You needed somebody guarding you.
Yeah, exactly. Can someone just stand in front of me?
Short corner by Mark, doesn't go. Rebound, Sela Heidi. And the Cal transfer gets fouled on the rebound. And that foul is against Alexis Mark, her first. 13 foul on Portland. 3:12 remaining here in the first quarter. It was now 2 of 4 on threes, 1 of 9 on twos. Reese, they gave her some space. She put it up. Then goes another foul that's called against Fraley, her second.
Yeah, just 1 for 9 though, and 1 for 10 now with that foul. But Portland's, some of these are wide open for Oregon State, and I think to an extent early on they were just so wide open that you feel a little flustered, like okay, got to make this. The pressure in your mind. But 1 for 9, it just, you can't have it, especially when you're the bigger team. So I'm sure the Beavers and I'm sure Ruick in the huddles is saying, calm down, just play our game, just put those bunnies away. But credit also to Portland, because some of them are contested.
Reese now 5 for 5 at the line tonight. 84% are coming in. Pac-12 Player of the Week in late December. You heard Alyssa talk about her career high 25 points at Gonzaga, and previously unbeaten Portland. Career high 21, first 21, then 25.
And she broke it the very next game.
Yeah, 21 against Gonzaga, 25 against Portland. Here's Mogul at the controls with Mikkel getting a brief break. Burnham puts it up, doesn't go. Shot was altered by Heidi. And Heidi comes down with it. Sela Heidi, the 6'7" player out of North Bend, Washington. Transfer out of Cal. Bolden gets it back outside, now to Schuler. The Beavers can take their first lead with a bucket here. Crowd oohs and ahs after the dribble by Reese. Inside to Heidi, back outside. Bolden's three-pointer. Back iron not good. Reese tried to volleyball it. It goes out of bounds, and it'll go to Portland.
And I honestly would have liked the first 3 that Kelsey had. She's been known to shoot, and she can hit that, especially in the high slots. It's always good to get, the defense off of position, but I think she had a pretty good 3. Good look there.
Yeah, last year, one of just 3 players in the nation, 6'5" or taller, to hit better than 37.5% on threes. But she can shoot it. Bolden all the way, take it in, off the glass, doesn't go. Rebound Hull. Shimmer tried to fight for it, but Hull came down with it. Her 3rd rebound of the game. Now Mogul, back outside. Backdoor pass. Shear from Burnham to the corner. Mark able to keep it from going out of bounds. 15 to shoot. Mogul directs some traffic. Burnham, short corner, and it's good. Nice little shot by Emmy Shear, averaging 16 points per game.
Yeah, and credit to Alexis Mark for keeping that ball in bounds and keeping that possession alive. That was not an easy play, and they worked it around. Emmy Shear got a great open jumper.
Bolden all the way this time, puts it up and in. After this in the previous one, Beavers back within 1.
Yeah, she's become a big factor for Oregon State, taking some good shots. Sometimes all you need is just one shot to go in right by the rim to open that thing, take that lid off.
Get the tipping guard off.
Yeah.
Outside for Burnham. Maisie Burnham knocks down a 3. 36% on threes this year. 3.2 attempts per game. Back to a 4-point Pilot lead. 4 out of 5 from beyond the arc. Michael Meek, the head coach, barking from the sidelines, instructions to his team. Allie Schimmel, the true freshman, former walk-on, awarded a scholarship over the holidays. Inside now, high low to Reese. Quickly double team, puts the ball to the floor, traveled with it. And Oregon State turns it over for the second time.
Yeah, that's where she'll want to progress. I'm sure it just gets a little quicker, but take another look at some of the ball movements. In and out, making Oregon State, I believe, pay for the zone there. Maisie Burnham is just so versatile. Inside, she'll hurt you. Mid-range. And draining the 3 there is Portland taking a little control. 4-point lead in the first quarter.
Burnham's 117th career game with the Pilots. Shear's 143rd career game with Portland. And Shear with it right now. Around the spear pick. Pocket pass, laid up and in, and one. Foul on Heidi, bucket for Burnham.
And in between 6'5" and 6'7" of Heidi and Reese. That was a really impressive lay-in. And an important cut.
Burnham to the free throw line, 5th in the WCC. 85% from the line. Already she has 11 points.
Draws the hands of the defense here, though, and finds it. I mean, Sela Heidi, a lot of surface area with those arms and how long they go out. Maisie Burnham makes her pay. That's easily one of the toughest buckets you're going to get in this game because you're surrounded by height.
Portland with their biggest lead, 7 points, 23-16. Get it back to Schuler. 5 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. 1 second, not going to get it off in time. So it's a 7-point lead for Portland, gunning for vengeance after the overtime win by Oregon State 3 weeks.
A lot of easy buckets. And
Good
most of
work
them are
by Shearer to get rid of it quickly as well.
Yeah, read that like a book.
7-point Pilot lead after 1 quarter. They've led the entire way. Ryan Mogul still in the game at point guard with Mikel Meek on the bench. Here's Shearer. Spear turnaround shot off the glass is good. Nice move by Lainey Spear. She was 0 for 5 from the floor on Thursday at Gonzaga.
Yeah.
With a 3 and a 2. Ball does work its way to Kelsey Reese, and this time able to lay it up and in.
Yeah, her first buckets of the game. She's had free throws, but good to see that go down. There was just no safety back for Portland. They had all the pressure up high. Good read by Schuler to just huck it up the court.
Scott Roop knows that good teams will exploit that pressure, and that's what he's hoping his Beavers could do. Turnaround shot by Hook. Nice little hook shot by Alexis Mark. Chatsworth, California native.
Yeah, things are just easy inside the paint right now for the Portland Pilots. There's not much of a contest, and Oregon State doesn't want to foul and get into trouble. But inside the paint, they've been really effective.
9-point lead, matches their biggest. Fieta, Susanna Jeffis in the game for Oregon State. A.J. Marat, 13-footer doesn't go. Reese comes down with a rebound. We got a foul. That's against Lainey Spear, her first.
And watch the passing inside. Portland, all alone, kind of uses the body of Reese to push off of and clear some space. And then Alexis Mark from the high post, one jab step, get the defender off balance just a little bit. That's a beautiful baby hook.
Short corner shot by Marat doesn't go. Tipped away and out of bounds. Back to Oregon State. 8:40 remaining here in the half. 20 on the timer. Tiara Bolden in for the Beavers, and Kennedy Schuler comes out. It's Kennedy Schuler. She and Lainey Spear squared off in the Oregon 6A high school title game a couple of years ago with Lainey Spear's team knocking off Kennedy Schuler's. Three-pointer doesn't go, and rebound pulled down by Alexis Mark.
Yeah, I bet there was a lot of familiarity on that scouting report between these two the first time. It's like, oh yeah, I played her in high school.
Yep. Good little move there. Some footwork to create some space for Trista Hull. You got Lainey Spear for Beaverton High School. Kennedy Schuler for Barlow. 11-point lead for Portland.
And 12 points inside the paint now for Portland. Just not what you'd expect against a bigger Beavers team.
They're doing a good job of creating some space, as you illustrated. Three-pointer by Bolden. Didn't draw iron. Put back by Fieta. Here comes Portland. 11-point lead and the ball. Maisie Burnham. Mark back outside to Meek. Full spin move against Reese. Reese thought she got all ball, but they whistle her for the foul for Kelsey Reese, her second.
And just the possession before, Hull taking advantage down low again. Becoming a factor, just clearing space. Gets all the way underneath the bucket. And the easy lefty lay-in. And now she's at the free throw line. Portland is really doing a good job. I mean, Oregon State also, they're doing a good job keeping them from scoring inside. Oregon State only has 3 made buckets other than 3-pointers in this game.
One more coming for Trista Hull, the Boise State transfer. Fouled out Thursday at Gonzaga, just 1.6 rebounds. Previous game against Gonzaga, she had 18 points. Offensive rebound by Shear off the missed free throw. Mark drives it in around the pick. Left-hand shot doesn't go. It's batted out by Shear. Back to Meek. Good play by Shear. Shear stepped on the baseline. Oh, she got fouled. Got fouled by Fieta. That's her first.
And this is more Portland's dictating the style of play right now. They're getting fouled. They're getting to the free throw line. They're getting their layups. Like we mentioned earlier, they shoot a majority of their shots inside the paint.
This time they pass it into the paint. 12-footer rattles home for Maisie Burnham. She's got 14 points.
Just dominant right now. 14 of their 32 as a team.
The Rock lobs it inside to Heidi. Left-hand shot rattles out. They're not falling for Oregon State. They're 5 of 23 from the floor. Shear drives it in. Fouled by Heidi. Offensive foul called against Emmy Shear.
Yeah, I'd like to see that one again for sure. It must have been an elbow before. As she's on the drive, on the move here. It's an offensive foul on Alexis Smart.
Alexis Smart.
Clearing the way.
Right. That's because you're right. Neither of us saw anything from what Shear did.
Yeah.
That's a second foul on Mark. He's playing with the 2 fouls. Do you go right at her?
Absolutely. Early in the second quarter.
Morant splashes down a 3. Her given name is Ashton. I think her Twitter handle is Splashton. And she hit the 3.
That's too good. Her second of the night. Living up to that name.
It was needed. They're now down by 11. Back outside. 3-pointer. And it's good. Maisie Burnham. They are 5 of 6 from 3-point range. Burnham hits her second.
And she's 6 of 7 from the field. Her second 3 from almost the exact same spot.
Meek got to get it in. Just does get it in ahead of the 5 count. Here comes Bolden. All the way. Take it in deep. Defended by Hull. Put it up. Doesn't go. Heidi can't come down with a rebound. Hull does. Outlet Burnham. Here comes Portland. 14-point lead and the ball. Meek gets it off to Maisie Burnham. Inside the Hull. Hull ducks underneath. And shot blocked by Heidi. Out of bounds back to Portland. 15 on the timer. As Laney Spear comes in. Alexis Mark comes out.
Yeah, and Oregon State staying in this zone right there, moving as one. I think they did a better job anticipating where the pass might go. Sela Heidi did a great job of blocking the shot.
3-pointer by Shear. Tipped up and out of bounds. It'll go back to Portland. The crowd doesn't like it. And David Arden, one of the officials. I thought for a minute they wanted to talk about it, but it is going to be Portland ball. Burnham comes out. Mogul in for Portland. Here's Mikkel Meek. Both their point guards in. Mogul and Meek. Turnaround shot. Rattles out for Shear. Rebound Heidi. He was down 14.
And those are typically hard shots to make. That's why a zone really wants you to take kind of those deeper in the paint, mid-range shots. But the problem is Portland's been making them.
Bolden turns the corner, put it up, no good. Tipped by Heidi, tipped up and in. Is that Fieta or Heidi? I think it was Kat Fieta.
I think it was. Trying to tip it out and went the right way.
Foul inside against Sela Heidi. That's her second. As Trista Hull went splatting to the floor. So Reese and Heidi each with 2 fouls.
34% shooting team from 3. And right now, like you mentioned, 83%. And Oregon State is missing bunnies inside of the paint that they can absolutely hit. You have to imagine they're going to start falling.
Lead Mogul open for 3. She takes it off the glass and good. Ryan Mogul, 27% on 3s, averages about 1 make every 2 games.
Right after we're talking about 3-point percentage, a bank 3 by Portland. It just kind of describes the night they're having so far.
6 of 7 now, and that's taken away by Portland. The Portland Pilots, 21st in the nation in steals per game, tops in the WCC, 11.9. They're also moving the ball really well, as they usually do. And Shear comes up with another bucket. She's got 4 points now, 2 for 5 from the floor. Her running mate, Maisie Burnham, picking up most of the opportunities. Bolden tries the pocket pass to Heidi, who gets it, and it's a held ball. And the possession error points to Oregon State.
And the Pilots just doing a fantastic job of ball movement against Oregon State's zone. In, out, patient on their jumpers. They're really not rushed, which is hard to do in a Gill Coliseum that's packed with Oregon State fans.
Yeah, they've quieted that crowd, to be sure. Schuler directing some traffic, and now Fieta. Got Fieta, transfer this year from Baylor. Native Sao Paulo, Brazil. Air ball on her three-pointer. And it's a 17-point Pilot lead and the ball. Running Oregon State out of the building here in the first half.
Yeah, the Beavers looking for any sort of momentum, and maybe they'll find some with Kelsey Reese coming into the game. They're going big with Sela Heidi and Kelsey Reese, staying in this zone defensively, but you got to get the ball inside and try to take advantage of your advantage, and that's size for the Beavers.
Spear left hand off the glass. Quick little shot. Well done for Laney Spear, the sophomore from Portland and Beaverton High School. And it's taken away. That pressure working against Oregon State. Mogul left side to Meek. 19-point lead and the ball. He's got a deflection. Gets over to Hull. Back to Meek. Back to Hull. Shear goes around Reese. And Reese got a hand on it into the backcourt. And collected by Mogul with 8 on the timer. Shear casts for 3. Rainbow. And it drops.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
They're shooting over 62% from the field right now.
7 of 8 on three-pointers.
You cannot start hotter. I mean, 1 missed 3.
Yeah, 6 different players have hit three-pointers.
And they're pretty open.
Bolden drives it and lays it up and in. Taking advantage of a seam in the defense. 20-point lead for the Pilots.
Bolden really the only player that's been able to be somewhat efficient for Oregon with 9 points. Oregon State.
So a corner 3 against that zone doesn't go. And out of bounds to Oregon State.
And just pushing in transition. Nobody is there to match up. And Scott Rueck says it's really important to be able to anticipate that, get over and contest, especially if you're in the zone. But Bolden finally breaking free, ending a bit of a scoring drought for the Beavers. But you still see a very calm composure from Scott Rueck and this bench, because how many times have they already come back in West Coast Conference play to play overtime ball? There's no panic.
Schuler's three-pointer, she got it. Kennedy Schuler, it's just her 5th three-pointer this year. Beavers within 17.
Right when you need it. Oregon State needs to get some momentum here before halftime.
Love to get it back down around 13 at halftime if they could. They need to stop here. Shearer against that zone, hooks it left side. Trista Hull doesn't take many threes. She does there. Long rebound, Kennedy Schuler. It's a lot of rebounds out of the point guard position. Heidi turnaround shot fouled by Hull, and Hull claiming she got elbowed on a hook by Heidi. Second foul on Hull.
That was quite a reenactment too by Hull, really trying to show the refs that Sela was pushing. But this is the kind of ball movement Oregon State needs. You got to keep the Portland Pilots on their feet, in, out, around, and be ready to shoot on the perimeter in rhythm. That's what's going to work.
Schuler a better shooter than she has shown. She was 4 for 37 on threes this year coming into the game, only 11%. I asked Scott Rueck about it. He said, I've never told one of my players not to shoot.
I love that. If you're a player, listen to that. And you actually get similar words from Michael Meek. He said he doesn't want to limit players, so he's not going to tell you just not to shoot. Both coaches are really all about growth and wanting to expand games, and especially Scott Rueck with post players. He is the post whisperer.
Yeah. Fraley's three-pointer doesn't go, just their second miss from beyond the arc in the game in 10 tries.
And again, pretty wide open, but that could be something that they're trying to leave open. Scott Rueck wants to make you take shots you don't want to take.
Reese's three-pointer rattles out. Rebound Shear. In fact, Portland 7 of 10 from three-point range after consecutive misses. Shear takes the ball, lays it up. Nice move, putting it up with the right hand. And back to an 18-point lead.
What a finish by Shearer. That was so crafty.
She's got 9. Burnham has 17. Natalie Fraley defending Schuler. Barat casts it for 3. It was short. Schuler comes up with a rebound, puts it up, and then just fighting hard. Kennedy Schuler, she's got 5.
Crucial, doing the dirty work. And there's quite a battle with these posts down low, whether it's Maisie Burnham against Sela Hyde.
4-second differential, shot clock and game clock. Meek should go to work with about 10 seconds on the shot clock. Her dad, head coach Michael Meek, calls the play. Mikkel directing some traffic. Fraley sets the pick. Meek puts it up. Shot clock violation. I waited a little bit too long to get things in order. Oregon State has 4 seconds to work with here at the end of the half.
And the Beavers went man there. They were in zone for quite a bit, and then you saw Scott Rueck kind of tell A.J. Marat to get out. Everybody matched up, and maybe that confused Portland for just a moment.
Look at master of defense. Schuler going to get a shot off this time. She does. I think Mogo got a hand on it. And it's a 16-point lead for the Pilots at halftime. 3 weeks ago, Oregon State won in overtime at the Child Center in Portland. And Portland looking
great, but you've got to fly around the perimeter too, because Portland is a good shooting team that they're proving right now. Just ridiculous from three-point range, 70%.
It's been more than 2 years since Oregon State last allowed 47 points in the first half of a game. That was December 18, 2022 against LSU in a loss on Maui. Meek against Schuler. Shearer goes to work against Bolden. 8 on the timer.
OSU in a zone, or in man-to-man.
They have Hull cast for 3. She didn't shoot many on the rebound. Bolden gets fouled. And that's against Alexis Mark, her 3rd.
That could be something to watch down the stretch.
And she's coming out. Laney Spear comes in.
And another reason to get the ball inside, too, if you're the Beavers. But interesting to see them start out in that man. They were in gaps. They made things tough for Portland.
And Bolden stepped on the sideline. You see a lot of rotation, a lot of changes for Michael Meek's team. They typically have fresh legs. They have no players in the top 25 in the West Coast Conference in minutes played per game. 4 different players averaging 27 or 28 minutes a game, led by Alexis Mark at 27.9.
That's that depth and that high pace they play at. That's a great point. You've got to rotate bodies in.
Cole hands it off to Burnham. 17 first half point for Maisie Burnham. In traffic, got fouled by Kat Fieda. And Fieda's second.
And Rueck really upset because he believes the defender was hands straight up in that situation, was Fieda. But Burnham, again, only Yvonne Ejim in the West Coast Conference gets to the free throw line more than Maisie Burnham.
And Rueck pointing up at the video board. Trying the video board a few years back here at Oregon State, and it is fantastic. And he's pointing up at it as if say, hey, watch that play.
A replay review right there for the refs.
Oregon State unable to secure the defensive rebound off the missed free throw. Meek's three-pointer. Grayson Hull fighting for it. No foul called. Fieda comes down with it. Inside Portland 2-3 zone. Schuler takes it in. Left-hand shot off the glass. Unable to finish, but she gets fouled. And that is against Emmy Shear, her first.
And a great job by the Beavs. Get to the rim right now, right? Don't be afraid of the contact. Schuler, she's one of the best in the conference at that. She's proven it with 2 game winners, going straight to the rim, taking some contact.
Yeah, what a clutch player she has turned out to be here in her sophomore year. December 28th at Gonzaga, game-tying free throws with 20 seconds left in regulation. And she had 3 assists in overtime. January 2nd here against Loyola Marymount, game-winning layup. And then she did likewise 2 days ago at Santa Clara. This is the second free throw there. It's a 16-point advantage for the Pilots, same advantage they had at halftime.
And look at Maisie Burnham just working, posting up, trying to post up Schuler.
And Meek calls a timeout. So with Burnham on her knees with the basketball, Michael Meek calls a time. 18 points in this one, had 17 at halftime. Quite a player.
Yeah, she's cashing in at the free throw line again. She's 6 of 7, about to get 2 more opportunities here. Her already had 2 opportunities before the break, but 29 is her career high against St. Mary's right now. Like you mentioned, she's got 18 with a quarter and 8 more minutes to play.
2 for 2 on 3. Shearer fighting hard against Bolden. Good layup for Shearer, and she's got 11. By the way, Burnham, her last 4 games have been 0 for 8 on 3-pointers, and she's 2 for 2 tonight. Shearer defending Fieta. Inside to Reese, quickly gets doubled, back outside. Murat's 3. Rattles out, rebound, Schuler. Oh, she fights hard. Very strong point guard, isn't she?
Yeah, just a ninja move right there.
Yeah. It's like she changed directions in midair.
Yeah.
6 to shoot. Another 3-pointer by Murat. This time she knocks it down. If at first you don't succeed, huh?
Try again, and she says, let's go. Trying to fire this team up.
Burnham traveled with it. That's just the 5th turnover on Portland.
And this is penetration and kicking out is something they just didn't have much of in the first half. It was rare, and A.J. Murat fired up. They got to get this thing turned around quickly. It feels like time melts quickly, and Oregon State knows what it's like to be behind this season. As we mentioned, I mean, a lot of new faces and players that weren't asked to be the go-to scorer. A.J. Murat has been here for a while, so she knows what it takes.
Schimmel's 3-pointer. It was short. Shearer had it tipped away from her by Schuler, but Krista Hull was there. Allie Schimmel, the freshman, 20% on 3. She is a really good 3-point shooter. Still getting settled in here, the freshman. Burnham's 3-pointer, and she is 3 for 3 after being 0 for 8 from beyond the arc her last 4 games.
It's just when it leaves her hand, there's no doubt.
With a 5-second violation, Oregon State turns it over for the 6th time in the game.
Yeah, and Oregon State, you mentioned Allie Schimmel coming in the game. I think they know they need to have some 3-point shooters to combat this. Portland, 62% from 3, 8 of 13, and Maisie Burnham has been perfect.
Raquel Meek able to get it in. Burnham puts it up off the glass, doesn't go. And the foul. Colin Reese knocking bodies around. It's against Kelsey Reese, and that's her 3rd foul.
Better defense there on Burnham. She is the unconscious player right now. Give her a little contact and contested the jumper.
In fact, 2nd foul on Reese. So she's still in the game. Switched over to Meek. Inside the Spear. Teardrop rattles home. Lainey Spear. She's got 9 points.
And players have stepped up for Portland. Simply put, everybody is hitting those mid-range jumpers inside the zone.
Crossover by Schuler against Mogul. The slow, the go, the scoop with the right hand, and gets the bucket.
Little shooter's touch there with the roll. Schuler.
Similar type one-hand cradle shot that she used to beat Loyola Marymount.
Yeah, what a finish that was.
And everything falling. Ryan Mogul's got the bucket. She's got 5 points. Hit both her field goal attempts. Schimmel takes it on the drive down the angle. Pocket pass to Reese, who got stripped by Burnham. And fouled by Burnham.
And I like, pushing the ball in transition and trying to get easy looks. Oregon State also has to kind of be careful and make sure they still play their game, right? They love the half-court offense and execution. And I think what's been impressive and what Scott told us, Scott Rueck, is that they've been really good executing-wise in the second half of games. And you saw it against UConn. You saw it against Gonzaga to come back from a 12-point deficit. You've got to set screens hard, right? Roll, cut hard, all the little fundamental things in the half-court offense.
Keep doing what you do.
Yeah, that's their identity.
One more coming for Reese. Makes them both. 18-point lead for Portland. Portland Pilots averaging outscoring their opponents 17.3. That's the largest scoring margin in the West Coast Conference by a huge margin. The number 2 team, San Francisco, outscoring their opponents by 1.5 points per game.
And Portland doing a good job on defense. I mean, between the two bigs, Sela Heidi and Kelsey Reese, they have 2 made field goals through 3.5 quarters.
Yeah, they're denying the ball when they can and then doubling when they get it. Outside, three-pointer for Spear. Hit one in the first half. She hits one in the second half. Laney Spear with her 4th and 5th three-pointers of the year coming in this game.
And Portland's bench all smiles. It's not often you get to see a performance like this.
They're 9 of 14 from three-point range. Laney Spear, who was 3 for 19 from beyond the arc this year, is 2 for 3 tonight. Reese open for 3. Doesn't go. I think that's a weapon they need to utilize more often.
Yeah, I like that shot a lot for Kelsey Reese.
In deep, Fraley's shot won't go. Tipped by Reese, controlled by Mogul. Second opportunity for Portland. Second chance points haven't been an issue for Oregon State. They're outscoring Portland's second chance 7-4. Crossover, fall away by Mogul. Right, done to create her own shot.
And it is Portland making some fantastic plays there. The foul was called. Oregon State has only turned the ball over 6 times, and Portland forces about 22 turnovers a game out of their opponents.
Yeah, that hadn't been an issue. One big league this year, and the 3rd and 4th place team get a bye into the quarterfinals. Really important to finish in the top 4, top 2 if you can.
Yeah, and you're looking at Oregon State right now at 4th, and they had a chance to get within a half game of first place, right? Because those top 2 teams are 7-2. You had to win on your home floor tonight. There's still a chance for a run here, but Portland looking like they're going to run away with this thing. And they're fit as Emmy Shearer keeps battling and finishes the bucket.
Yeah, it was like 1-on-4. She stole it, she drove, got her own rebound, and put it back up and in.
And that's the effort they're playing with tonight. And the head-to-head tiebreakers are crucial as well. Oregon State won 1 game against the Pilots and really wanted this second game, so you have that head-to-head tiebreaker if it comes down to that.
Right. Skipped over to Burnham. Maisie Burnham. Skips it back to a running mate, Shear, who cans a 3. Another three-pointer. They're 10 of 15.
Not even surprised at this point. When the 3 goes up, it's going down for Portland. It's that kind of night.
Shear and Burnham are combined 5 for 5 on 3s.
And Oregon State just a step slow defensively. Usually you like to see them fly around and move, and right now just behind Portland.
Yep, and Heidi a little slow on the offensive end there. She had one-on-one with Hull for a second before Mogul closed in. She had an opportunity but didn't react quickly enough.
And it's worth remembering, Oregon State has played 4 overtime games in their first 7 WCC games. I mean, that is a lot of minutes. That's extra minutes, and they had to travel this week from Santa Clara on Thursday.
Timeout taken by Oregon State as they trail this one by 28 points, 67-39.
Around and people making 45 cuts because the posts are being double teamed. But if you're not making buckets inside, you're no danger. And right now, nothing will drop for Oregon State, but they're also not being quite as aggressive to the rim as they need to be.
Nobody guarding Kennedy Schuler. Inbounded to Heidi, one-on-one, little jump hook against Hull. That's what they need.
Simple, right? Just dribble, turn around, baby hook. She has the height where she doesn't need to do much.
Her second bucket. Sela Heidi has 5. Shear to Burnham. Out of the way and taken away. That's just the 6th turnover for Portland. Fieta or crossover. Offensive foul against Kat Fieta. Her third foul.
And this is what Oregon State would like to do more of, right? Simple, get it in, single coverage. Selah Heidi, 6'7", is going to win most times when you're just in rhythm.
Heidi, North Bend, Washington native. Far eastern reaches of the Seattle metro area on I-90 heading toward the Snoqualmie Pass. And Hull traveled with it. Consecutive turnovers for the Pilots. They now have 7.
And you kind of see the root of the problem there, though. It's just such an easy drive to get inside of the paint for Portland. And you bring defenders over, all the eyes go there, and they've kicked it out so many times for open threes.
And they're hitting those threes, 10 of 15 from beyond the arc.
That seems pretty good.
Selah out of the double team. Flip it around to Bolden. Her shot doesn't go. Tipped by Heidi, back to Bolden. Second opportunity for Oregon State. Fieta's 3. Heidi fighting for the rebound. And they call Hull for the foul. Her third.
And that one of the main improvements that we talked to Michael Meek about was keeping Oregon State from getting to the free throw line too much. They shot 32 free throws in the first game over in Portland. Tonight, the Beavers have only shot 12 as we're nearing the end of the third quarter.
And Portland has shot 7. Oregon State averaging shooting 16.7 free throws per game. Their opponents just 10.3. It's a big advantage.
No doubt.
Beavers 33rd in the nation in free throw percentage. 76.7 coming in. Top 2 free throw shooting teams in the conference right here. Oregon State and Portland. Spear against that zone. Oregon State continue to employ it. Burnham surveying her options. To Shear, fall away from 6, and it rolls home.
And it's fun to see Portland play at a slower pace, too. I mean, they've proven they can play at a high, frantic, in-your-face transition game, but they've slowed it down tonight, and they're playing at their own pace, not taking rush shots.
Fieta with the left hand. Got Fieta's first bucket of the game. The other in the run-out doesn't go for Fraley. Highly the rebound, and is taken away by Burnham, and she earns the free throws.
There's not a lot going right for the Beavers.
Third foul on Heidi. Yeah, Burnham just out-hustled her. Maisie Burnham, 21 points. 17 came in the first half. Meanwhile, here in the second half, Amy Shear has 9 of her 18 points. They've combined for 39 points. The veterans Burnham and Shear.
They're 2 players that Meek said just haven't taken a night off once this year. And that's the progression of their years, right? They've each played at least 4 years of college basketball. They're both grad seniors, and this year they just come to play every single night, put their hard hat on, and be what their team needs them to be.
Maisie Burnham out for the moment. Heidi posting up inside against Fraley. Fieta takes it up, throws it high off the glass. Hits the top of the backboard. Get a foul call. That is against Ryan Mogul. The one on her.
Yeah, Fieta and Bolden have been pretty quiet in the second half so far. Bolden was really the only scoring answer the Beavs had early on, getting to the rim. And Fieta had a double-double last time she played the Portland Pilots. They've made her sort of a non-factor.
Yeah, 10 points, 10 rebounds, December 30th. Fieta from Sao Paulo, Brazil, the largest city in both the western and southern hemispheres. More than 11 million people in Sao Paulo.
Oh, my goodness. Geography lesson there.
3 million more than New York City. Fieta takes it away. Taking it to the other end, lay it up and in. So 11 million people. Kat Fieta trying to make a name for herself.
Among the people. And aggressive there. I really liked just reading and jumping the pass.
Turnaround shot blocked by Heidi. Out of bounds with 14 to shoot, 24 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
And take a look, just jumping the pass, getting in front of it. We have not seen that all game. Vieta taking it for two the other way. And then great defense here by Sela Heidi. I think this is what they want out of this zone defense. Force you to try and go against a 6'7" post player.
Little crossover, good ball handle. Follow-away shot. Tipped by Vieta. Over fighting for the rebound off her own missed shot. Schuler's got time. Spin shot from 11 goes. Got to be Schuler. And back to a 21-point game. Oregon State is trailed by as many as 28. It's a 21-point Pilot lead after the bucket by Schuler. Oregon State Athletics 2 nights ago as they knocked out 16th ranked Gonzaga.
Yeah, unbelievable atmosphere from what it looked like on TV. What a tough thing to do. Gonzaga usually has a target on their back, and you know, a lot of future games between those two teams. And even here, Oregon State fans, give them credit. They have stayed through a game where the Beavers have been trailing the entire game and still just as passionate as Oregon State. Went on a little run before the end of the third quarter.
Vieta turns it over. Shear against A.J. Marat. Marat got a hand on it. Good defense. It's batted away. Good defense by both Vieta and Marat. Inside to Heidi, quickly doubled by Mark. Three-pointer by Bolden, didn't draw iron, and collected by Meek.
Still, I'm sure, an emphasis, passing out of that double team in the post. A wide open three, just doesn't go down for the Beavs.
Sheer reverse layup, fouled by Heidi. That's her fourth.
Yeah, Oregon State not challenging some of the non-shooters for the Pilots, but everybody's been a shooter tonight. And sometimes when you're giving space to a player, this happened when I played, when we were more intelligent defense, trying to make non-shooters do what they don't want to do. Sometimes if you're farther off, it just makes you slower everywhere else. Almost a relaxed mindset where you need to be flying around. And I feel like we're seeing a little bit of that with Oregon State.
One more coming for the 88%er, Emmy Shear, after missing the first. It's her first trip to the line tonight. Auckland, New Zealand native. Portland's had a good pipeline from down under, Australia and New Zealand, for the last half decade. Maybe a little more. 22-point lead. They've led by as many as 28.
And crucial here is Scott Rueck is rebuilding winning culture. How does your team respond in this fourth quarter when you're down?
A scoop by Kennedy Schuler. She's got 12 points to lead the team. Kelsey Reese with 10.
Battle.
Heidi fell down, and Heidi slow to get up. Three-pointer by Burnham doesn't go, and Heidi's hobbled.
She's hurt. She was battling with Trista Holt.
Yeah, Sela Heidi is in some pain.
Great bucket here by Schuler, though, attacking the glass. Look at her read the defense. You just get holes, shoulders turned a little bit, you got an advantage, and all the way around. But it doesn't look like great news for Heidi right now. Her and Hole were battling for sure down low in the post.
Jason Liu, the trainer, out to check on Sela.
Looked like that something might have given out there. I mean, nothing looks super abnormal. Trista Hole is trying to get position down low. Maybe that right ankle. That right ankle sort of turned toward the floor. And she's hobbling on that right ankle right now.
So Heidi, one of their two key bigs, comes out, averaging 7.5 points and 18 minutes per game. And a held ball. Arrow goes to Portland. 8:09 remaining here, and they have a 20-point lead.
And really exactly what Michael Meek wanted to do in this second game against Gonzaga. He said, we have to do a better job on the rebounds. Well, rebounding-wise, they're out-rebounding Oregon State. In the first game, it was way skewed, 42-27 around there for the Beavers. They've also done a way better job keeping Oregon State off the free throw line. Beavs shot 32 in the first game. Right now, they're at 16.
And they haven't taken many tough twos, the Pilots, but that was a tough one from Shear and it didn't go. Fieda draws the foul. That's on Shear. That's Emmy's third foul. Fieda to the free throw line. Portland shooting at 53%. Not uncommon for them. They shoot 46% for the year. That is 39th best in the nation. Tops in the WCC.
And they're really proving tonight why they're the highest scoring team in the WCC. To do it here at Gill Coliseum.
They're not even having a shoot around here. Offensive rebound and won't go for Schuler.
Correct. Came over this morning from Portland and pretty much warmed up here. Made it look like this is their home basket. I mean, the rims are their best friends today.
Burnham cans another three. How about Maisie Burnham? 4 of 5 from beyond the arc.
She's been fun to watch. And again, not rushed at all. She has quite a bit of space to take the three, and she's not hesitating after what you mentioned, 0 for 8 in the games before.
Yeah, last 4 games. There's a foul on Mikkel Meek, her first. 26 points now for Burnham.
Get it into the low post, that short corner. The defense all turns. Eyes go toward her, and no one really recovers quickly enough. I mean, for Burnham, she's made 4 threes, especially before that 3. You've got to rush out to her, right? And a good closeout, because she can also take you off the bounce.
As a team, they're 11 of 17, 65% from three-point range. Fieda, wild shot, doesn't go. And Burnham the rebound. Maisie now 4 rebounds away from a double-double. 6 rebounds. She also has 5 assists. Mark been relatively quiet tonight. Their third leading scorer, 11 points per game. Good defense by Oregon State. Mark has 5 points.
Yeah, they've really spread out the scoring, haven't they? So many players. Only 2 players that have played haven't scored.
Turnaround shot by Reese. Good defense by Trista Hull. Reese tumbles to the floor. No foul was called. It's out of bounds. And it'll go back to Oregon State. And Mikkel Meek can't believe it.
I am excited to see these two duke it out if they were to meet again in the West Coast Conference tournament. Meek and Schuler. They have similar builds, and they lead their teams in similar ways.
And I think they have the same hairstyles.
They sure do. The French braid.
Number 1 for each team. There's Mikkel Meek. There's Kennedy Schuler. Meek from Beaverton, Southridge High School. Schuler from Gresham, Sam Barlow High School, both Oregonians. A foul is on Burnham, her second. Very well done for the Portland Pilots. Shooting it now at 53% against 65% on threes. They came in third in the WCC, 33.5% from three-point range. Another foul on Burnham, so consecutive ones. She now has 3.
And the crowd definitely reacting to some of these fouls as Burnham gets into Reese.
That's their 4th foul here in the 4th quarter. Lobbed inside. Wow, how about that? Bolden to Marat.
I like that. Setting sort of a screen was Kelsey Reese down low. And what a Marat. That was a great cut. And in the air finish. Perfect pass.
First foul on Schuler. Second foul on Oregon State here in the 4th quarter. Watch this play.
So nice. We got to see it twice. Look at this. There's a screen down low, but Bolden puts it on the money. That's a nice play drawn up by Coach Ruick.
Portland has the luxury of time on their side. Not as much of a hurry as they normally would be. Spin move by Shear. Finds Meek open. Doesn't go. Volleyed by Burnham. And here comes Schuler. Marat inside to Reese. Knocks down the defender. Offensive foul called against Reese. And for Kelsey, that's her third. Remember, they've already lost Sela Heidi. Heidi out because of looked like a right leg injury.
That's a tough call, too. I'd have to see it again, but Reese looked like she was just sort of turning, and if you're the defender, that is a smart play. You know she's going to be turning, and you're going to be smaller.
Yeah, Lynn Spears had a good game. Three-pointer didn't go for Burnham. Rare miss for her. Just her second and 6 attempts from beyond the arc. And Burnham fighting hard at the other end. And it'll go back to Oregon State. Maisie Burnham, along with everything else, apologizing to the person at the scorer's table after bumping into it. Burnham's got 26 points. Maisie Burnham 3 points shy of her career high.
Yeah, and I think Ruick wants Reese to get rid of that ball a little quicker inside, and if she doesn't have anything, that double is right there, and the dribble is just going to draw more defense. Portland doing a great job of taking away passing angles. Nobody looks open, and that was why it was tough for Reese to get the ball out.
Fieta drives it, skip it over. Schuler's three doesn't go. Rebound pulled down by Shear. She's got 19 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Under 5 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. 20-point lead for the Pilots. Fourth quarter is good for Trista Hull. Hull's got 5 points.
There's
Reaching foul against Shear. It is. Amy Shear commits the foul. And that's her fourth. Big lead for the Pilots. Executed by Tiara Bolden and A.J. Marat. And Bolden will be at the free throw line. 73%er. Be her first trip to the line tonight. After the fourth foul on Amy Shear prior to the timeout. Oregon State 14 of 19 at the free throw line tonight. Portland 8 of 11. But the Pilots 11 of 19 from three-point range. That's after a couple of recent misses. And Bolden misses them both. Beaver's top free throw shooting team in the WCC, 76.7%.
And we're seeing just a little bit of pressure from Oregon State in the backcourt, as they obviously trail by 22.
I'm going to force the issue more than they typically do.
It's the Pilots' experience that's come through, coming to Gill Coliseum.
And a steal for Fieta. Jumps another pass. Lay it up. No good. She gets fouled by Mogul. Mogul's second. 4 minutes remaining, and it's a 22-point lead for the Pilots.
And as we mentioned, I mean, Mogul not included with this group of seniors, but like you've got 4 graduate seniors in this Portland starting 5, and then Trista Hull, who's a senior. There's so much experience, so there's zero fear coming into Gill Coliseum. I mean, I remember playing as a senior at Gonzaga when they were a ranked team. You just don't have the same kind of wide eyes as you might have when you're younger, right? And we made it a close game. Portland has just been unbelievable. Like, zero fear taking any open shot. They haven't been sped up. They haven't been disturbed at all by Oregon State's length.
Fieta makes 1 of 2. 21-point lead for the Pilots. Rich Burke along with Alyssa Charleston, who played for the Idaho Vandals 2011 to 2014 under John Newley.
Now, when we went to UConn, there were wide eyes there.
Air ball out of the hands of Hull, caught by Mark, get it back outside to Shear, and she splats one down. Shear now with 22 points to go along with a 26 by Maisie Burnham. That's living right there. The air ball caught and then quickly back outside of the corner. How about Kelsey Reese on the drive? Draws a foul. It's either Hull or Mark. Looks like it's going to be Alexis Mark. And it is. That's her fourth. And Reese to the free throw line.
As a group, Pilots have done a really good job containing Reese. Just 1 made field goal. She's mostly made her living at the free throw line. 8 for 8 before these two.
And well-designed game plan where she had some shots underneath early on in the game that she couldn't get to fall, a couple of them uncontested.
Yeah, it's a great point, and that messes with your confidence just a little bit the rest of the game unless you see a few go down in a row, which she just hasn't.
Hits them both. 22-point lead for the Pilots. They look to improve to 6-3 in WCC play.
Crazy to think Reese was the one who fought through contact, had a great and one bucket against Portland the last time they played to send the game to overtime. And again, 25 points.
Sort of a great week when she was the WCC Player of the Week. The Aussie. Little shot doesn't go. Fieta the rebound, shovels it off to Schuler. Arat inside to Reese. Reacting quickly that time before the double could close in and gets the bucket over Shear.
Ideal defensive to offensive possession there. Make them take a tough contested two, turn around, get a post up.
That's what Oregon State has needed the bulk of this game, but they haven't gotten. By the way, the Pilots, 12 three-pointers in 20 attempts. The 12 threes is a season high. Mogul back outside to Shear. She takes another three. That one no good. But Mogul comes down with the offensive rebound. 13th offensive rebound of the game for the Pilots. Oregon State has 14.
And that's typically what you get out of zones, right? Offensive rebounds are easier to get by.
Three-pointer off the glass for Mogul. It's her second three in 2 attempts in this game.
And I think, wasn't the other one off glass?
I think it was. Maybe it's her thing.
That's her thing. Bank is open.
Averages about 1 3-pointer every other game. We've got a foul against Portland. And it's against Mogul, her third. Minute 33 to go. And a 23-point lead for the Pilots. University of Portland, winners of the last 2 West Coast Conference tournaments. Last year, they lost in the first round of the NCAA tournament to Kansas State, 78-65. 2 years ago, lost to Oklahoma in the first round, 85-63. They have made 3 NCAA tournaments in Michael Meek's 5 years, including back in 2020 when the tournament was canceled.
They've certainly peaked at the right time. That WCC tournament, they've given Gonzaga headaches.
Tip by Fieta. We've got a held ball. The arrow goes to Oregon State. They try to make the scoreboard look a little less dire here at the end. It's a 16-point lead for the Pilots at halftime. They lead by 22 now. Ball taken away by Anna Eddy. Her first game since January the 4th. Tiffany Barbosa in the game. Likewise, Ella Zimmerman. And in the street line. Mogul hits another three-pointer. Ryan Mogul, 27% on threes coming in. She is 3 for 3. Now, if that doesn't epitomize the night for the Pilots, 86-61. Won't go for Reese. And she commits a foul on street line. 14 to 23 on threes, 61%. Is that any good?
That seems pretty good. And, I mean, unexpected just because if you're the defense, it just makes it really hard to play the kind of defense you want to play when the scout doesn't quite turn out the way that the stats have shown. And Portland's credit to them for coming out here and just playing with all the confidence in the world. They're a dangerous team right now. They're about to be 17-3.
Started conference play 3-0, win over Loyola Marymount, Pacific, Santa Clara, then lost in overtime to Oregon State, lost at home to Gonzaga, wins at home against LMU and San Francisco, and then the loss at Gonzaga before this one. They just take the shot clock violation and a 25-point lead.
And Oregon State will have a lot to look at after this one, or they may not want to look at that too much. They've got San Francisco coming up next week, a trip to the Bay Area.
Second meeting in 15 days after Oregon State knocked off the Dons. Dons are in a free fall after starting 5-0. They're now 5-4. Doesn't go for Murat. Out of bounds to Portland. Oregon State 5 of 21 on three-pointers. And again, the Pilots 14 of 23. That's the big story of the night. Mogul hit 3 threes. Shearer hit 3. Burnham hit 4. Spear hit a pair. Also three-pointer for Mikel Meek and one for Alexis Mark. Big win for the Pilots.